Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. It's not hype, it's not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. Today's episode is entitled, You Don't Drown from Falling. Here we go. There's a question I've been sitting with lately, one that I think applies to every leader in some stage of their career. When did falling become the problem? Because here's what I know to be true. Every significant leader, every person who has built something worth building, every executive who has earned the trust of a team has a failure story. Not a footnote, a real, defining, I did not see that coming failure. And somewhere along the way, they had to make a choice about what that failure meant. John Maxwell said something that cuts right through all the noise around this topic. He said, "You don't drown from falling into the water, you drown by staying there." Let's think about that. The wisdom is not in the first half of that sentence. It's in the second. We spend a lot of energy in leadership culture talking about failure. We celebrate resilience in keynote speeches and annual reports. We put up quotes about bouncing back on our office walls. But I want to challenge something. I think we've over-romanticized the fall and under-examined the staying. Here's what I mean. The moment you fall as a leader, whether it's a failed product launch, a bad hire, a strategic miscalculation, a public misstep, that moment is not actually the crisis. The crisis begins in the days and weeks that follow. That's when the real test starts. That's when you either start swimming or you start sinking. The most common misread I see from leaders in the aftermath of failure is this. They confuse processing with paralysis. They tell themselves that they're being thoughtful. They're reviewing the data. They're taking their time. But what's actually happening is they've let a narrative take root. A narrative that says, maybe I'm not equipped for this. Maybe I should scale back. Maybe I should play it safer from here. That narrative is the water, and every day you stay in it, you go a little deeper. Here's a reframe that I'd like to offer. Failure is not a verdict on your identity. It's data about your strategy. Those are fundamentally different things. One of them ends the conversation, the other one opens it. When you treat failure as data, it becomes directional. You can ask different questions. Not, why did this happen to me, but what does this tell me about what I need to change? Not, was I wrong to try, but what would I do differently with what I know now? That shift is not about optimism. It's not about staying positive or reframing bad news into good news. It's about intellectual honesty applied to your own experience. The leaders who recover fastest are not the ones who feel the least. They're the ones who feel it, name it, extract the lesson, and then make a decision to move on. I want to leave you with one question to sit with after this episode. Not a productivity question, not a strategy question, a personal leadership question. Where in your professional life right now are you still in the water? Not because you've not been through enough time to heal, but because part of you is not ready to admit what the lesson actually is. Maxwell's right. The fall is not what takes you under, it's the staying. And the moment you decide to swim, everything changes.